Hopefully these C9s will be quite a bit easier than the last one. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at two Sony SL-C9 Betamax machines. You would be completely correct in thinking there's only one there, because there is. The second one we'll be looking at. This one featured in the last C9 video that I did, where we had the capstan issues and ended up changing the panel, the SS11 panel. And just to get that one out of the way really, and back to its owner. And this was one that I used, a bit of a reference machine really, to compare voltages and oscillograms and all the rest of it. And yeah, I'm sort of now getting this ready for sale really. I need to clear some space, so this will be going up for sale. Let me know in the comments if you're interested. Come with a remote as well, but we do have a few other things to do before we can give it its 20-hour testing and record testing and all the rest of it. One of them being these yellow pads. I have started taking them off down here actually. See where I've started removing them, and just need to clean up the residue there. But they do go quite well. Eventually they go conductive. They're not as bad as the black pads in the later machines like the HF950, but still it's worth getting rid of them. And what I'm going to do is just use hot glue to replace them. So that seems to work really well, especially if I can get it tidy. The other thing that was interesting with this is we actually had a plastic gear fallout, and if you know these machines you'll recognise that as one of the gears off the bar that runs across the top. There's a tape in here unfortunately, which I meant to take out but didn't. So yeah, you probably can't see it, but this has had the metal kit fitted, as well as the later DC AC connector. You can see somebody's actually labelled up all the connections as well when they've taken it out. It's also had the power supply, couple of cats replaced, and some heatsink compound put on to help dissipate the heat from it. So yeah, it's been pretty thoroughly looked after in its time. I didn't do this. It came to me with that done, so that's really cool. So what I'll do is I'll get these pads done. Still got to change the RF out, or RF modulator rather. So I don't know whether this is an E or UB either, because that does make a difference for the modulator. I think the one I've got is actually UB. Actually, I think I've got an E and a UB, but we'll check. We'll check on part numbers. Main difference is the sound carrier will be different. So yeah, but anyway, let's crack on. So all the yellow whatever they are out, and I've actually found one under this bodge board here, and so I've just filled that with hot glue and elevated it, allowed it to dry so it's not touching anything, which is fine. And there's also a resistor here which I could have left, but I don't want it floating about. I have also changed the fuse. I've done them all actually underneath, because even though they should be reliable, they do flex every time the machine's powered on, and over like 40 plus years it will eventually just rupture like a soft break. So I just changed them for fresh ones, and just stops them from being unreliable. Giving it a good dust out, job's a good one. Also done the SS11 board, so that's all good to go, and probably need to just clean up a few more little sort of strands of hot glue. It's the only thing with hot glue, but it does the job well. So yeah, and should be all good to go. Let's crack on. So modulator's out, and yeah, that's pretty ruined. So debating whether to change the back panel as well, because that's become quite damaged. And maybe just put another sticker on with a different, or sticker on like a different back then, with the serial number on, just to keep it sort of compliant for what it's worth. So yeah, it's lifted the AF board. So the AF board, no, it's the trick mode. What is it? It's the JR11 board. So all the trick mode control. So that's cool, giving it all a good clean out. So all good to go there. This board didn't really want to play ball staying up, so I'll just lie it over, that's fine. So I need to have a dig through. I thought I had one of these, but they're not. They're for later machines. I think F30 and HF950. So I have got one of these, so I'll dig around and get it swapped. Well, I've had a dig around and I've found a half decent back plate. So it's a lot better than this one. Not too sure what to do about the serial number. I probably will just make a stick and just put it over there with the original serial number on. I might try and remove this just to see how it goes, but I've found in the past that these just sort of like almost crumble and they're never the same. So yeah, I think I will just opt for the sticker over here, but yeah, I might give it a go just for the fun of it. And then RF modulator. It's a UB dash 11 at the end there, and I've got these. So I've got an E, so that'll have slightly different carrier for the sound, and I've got an 11 and a 12. Now I don't know what the difference is between the 11 and the 12, but I'm going to fit the 11 because it's what it had before. So we'll go for that, and I won't bother showing me doing that, but yeah, I'll get that sorted and take it from there. Let's crack on. I'd actually forgotten that the sockets on these are actually they're not soldered to the can. They're actually on a nut, so it could be replaced. So I will keep this. I mean, I haven't got one of those now. In the future, that could be actually retrievable, but I've swapped them anyway. So yeah, it's a better job. But yeah, interesting. Pretty much back together and looking a heck of a lot better. Pretty well tidied it up, put the sticker on for the original serial for what it's worth. I mean, it's immaterial really. Still got a bit of dust to clear out there, but that's fine. I'll do that at the end. But yeah, and I even found 2 new screws or replacement screws. It had these 2 in previously. That one's not so bad, but that one, oh dear. But yeah, they went in fine, so that's all good. So like I say, it does need a bit of a clean out just around the edges, and but otherwise we're all good. Yeah, it's looking good. So the next thing I'm going to do is these foam pads. As you can see, that one's disintegrating, so I'll just scrape these off, and it can be quite a bit of effort to get the adhesive off actually, but yeah, I'll stick some new ones on. That's a bit better. Let's crack on. So I think we're about good to go, so let's plug it in. And we'll just fast forward. Rewind. Play. Using a remote control, of course. And still. God, it's really good still, isn't it? Let's just adjust the H-lock. Oh, to be fair, I think that's as good as it's going to get. Oh no. There we go. Reverse. Forward. Advance. ×2, We could track that in a bit better. There we go, sort of, yeah. Play. And let's just do forward. Forgot how it worked for a second. So see, it's changing the speed, nothing was happening, but of course I was on still. And back. 1/5. Times 1 playback. In reverse. It's not bad. A little bit of tracking there, but yeah, brilliant. So let's check if jack is okay. Especially as I've done so much with it with the tape in. I really don't like doing that, but brilliant. So counter timer. Brilliant. And tape remaining is all good. But yeah, apart from, I mean, it'll need a clean up. There's bits of dust on the outside. It's actually quite tidy on the inside. But yeah, it's about good to go. So what I'll do now with this, like I said, I'm going to sell this. So I'll give it a good clean up. It'll have 20 odd hours of playback. I'll do some recording with it. Let's just get the oh, I just realised I might have a copyright strike if I keep on with that. Give it a clean up and put it back together. Like I say, give it a 20-hour test with playback. I'll test recording as well. I'll test the RF out. I haven't done that yet. And yeah, it'll be up for sale. So yeah, let me know if you're interested. So let's crack on with the other deck. So machine number 2. So this one, it looks pretty tatty. So you can see there's some moisture's got in there. I don't know quite what's happened there. I think moisture, like condensation's got on it, got into the foam, and yeah, it's caused the tops there to rot. So what I'm thinking, because this does have the metal gears, is I've got another one. I think the motor failed on it, so I'm thinking of making one good one out of 2, which will be fine. You can see there's moisture on the top of the cans as well, so I'll probably change the tops. It's a bit more involved with this because you've got to take the strap off and take that bit of solder off, but that's fine. I've got a 100-watt iron for that. I've already taken the battery out. I left the battery in the other one because it's holding charge. Amazing. So that's cool. I've changed the belt in this, and I've done a few little bits on this. It's got the later DC AC converter as well, so that's good. Power supply, I don't think the power supply has been done on it, but I think it's good. But I might want to change those caps, those 350 volt ones, on the primary side, just because they will leak. Yeah, it's a slightly higher risk with this. You just don't know quite what the moisture side of it was like, but hasn't got the door on the front. Unfortunately, I haven't got any doors. You can see there's sort of moisture on the, because this is metal infused or copper infused, or it's copper, or I don't know, it's metal involved anyway. It's sort of anti-static, take the static away from the cassette when you push it in. As you push it in, they go to great lengths to help get rid of static. So that was part of the reason I decided to borrow the S11 board. So I'm going to fit that back, and I suppose give it a try. Hall effect looks fairly clean. A bit of a cobweb there. That's probably from storage with me, to be honest. With me, it's been stored in the dry. Yeah, I could do with just cleaning off there's a few bits of glue there, so I'll clean those off. That's fine. Very shiny capstan motor. Rotor. It's quite interesting. So let's get a panel in there. Okay, so replacement panel all looks okay apart from I think that's a 12-volt rail. There, that fuse has atomized. I'm going to change all the fuses anyway, because I like to as a matter of course, and they do have a habit of soft blowing, like I've said before. So the others look okay actually, but yeah, so we've got, I tend not to take the cable out of these. I tend to take the cable with these, or take these with the cable. So obviously stripping that one down, I've not done that because, well, stripping it down. So just going to press these together. Might have to use pliers, but if you've got strong fingers, I'm sure you can do it. There's a couple of little scratches on it, but other than that, it's pretty perfect. Looks really good, actually. Hope there's nothing wrong with it, but I have got another panel, if there is. And we'll add this to the pile to be fixed. Right, so... Okay, so turn the machine round and start plugging stuff in. Right, so that's that. What I thought I would do, just very quickly, I'm just going to check across that that rail, just in case there's anything that sort of pinpoints to it being dodgy. I'll just have to turn off on my meter. Yeah, so that's pretty okay. Got a cap charging up there by the looks. 11.6k. It's charging back up a little bit. So yeah, and that is pretty good. I think it was just well, I'm not worried. I just think it was somebody touched something they shouldn't. Like I say, they were bought as scrap machines and people had sort of worked on them and scrapped them basically, and I bought the scrap. So I don't know whether this board's any good, but I assume it is, because the machines, to be fair, the machines I bought, most of the problems with them were mechanical. So I'm making an assumption that probably electronically they're okay. Like I say, we've got other boards, so yeah, that's cool. I suppose the next thing is to clean up the Hall effect, and then I suppose we can give it a try and just see what that front loading system's like. But yeah, let's crack on. So I've cleaned that up. Even though it looked fairly clean, it was actually pretty grubby, right down to the base of the Hall effect itself. So yeah, it was a load of glue right on the back of the actual encapsulation itself. So that was well worth doing. But gosh, it was really stubborn. It has rotted the legs slightly. That's not really an issue as long as it works straight away. You know, when we start playing cassette, then it should be fine. But yeah, we'll see. So I think I'll put this cover, put the SS11 back up, put a couple of screws in, and we'll give it a test. Let's crack on. So I've done the same as I did on the other machine. I've taken out all the yellow pads and I've put glue to replace it, hot glue. And one thing I did notice, I can't see them now, I'd actually borrowed, in inverted commas, 2 resistors. This one here, which I think was that was a 2.7 K, and then there was another one here, which I think was a 33K. Nicked them off the board, obviously for another repair. It must have been years ago now. And I think I must have done it because that fuse had blown. I just thought, oh well, I'll get plenty of these boards, which I suppose I have. I'll just scrap this one. But that fuse, its primary function is to feed the capstan motor. So maybe the machine it came out of had a 40 capstan motor, or it just got shorted when somebody was playing about with this. It's got blown that way. But yeah, so really pleased to get that done. I'll put the screws back in a minute. Just clean up any stray glue. I think I've got most of it, but it does tend to sort of catch around the legs of the components. So yeah, but yeah, cool. Debating whether to do the power supply or power it up and test it. I think I'm going to power it up and test it first, and then we'll do the power supply if it's worth doing, which it should be. So let's crack on. So I'm ready to give it a test. I've had a look around though, and I've found this front loading system. It's been kind of cannibalized a bit as well. A gear off the side that commonly gets cracked. And yeah, it's basically one of the plastic gears. I got one of those from the other machine. Can pop that on and fix this. But no, what I'll do is I'll probably liberate the good parts out of this and replace the rotten ones on that one. So that'll be quite cool. So moment of truth, let's give it a try and see how we get on with it. Okay, so far so good. Right. Let's try cassette. So I have actually, I've not given it a full clean. I've just cleaned the heads and I cleaned the pinch roller because it just had a couple of marks on it. I think it was more to do with grease on it. Okay, well of course it hasn't got the right board in it, so well, it hasn't got the same board, so I wouldn't be surprised it won't work particularly well. And right, we've got we've got anything. Maybe that board is bad then, because I've got no capstan and I've got no head motor, so that board probably is going to be faulty. So that's a fun one. So I think what I'll do, let's oh dear. Yeah. Yeah, we've got problems with that board. I wonder, well, I was going to say, let's just see if that fuse has popped again, because that does drive the motors. So essentially we've got no real motor either. So let's pull the power. So let's see what this is like. Okay. Well, it doesn't look as if the fuse is actually blown. I think that went to 0, even though I'm not on. Yeah, so it's fine. Okay. So we've got, well, we've got issues there. I wouldn't necessarily say. Just check the other ones are all okay. That one I know will be, because it's only for the rear socket, and that one. Yeah, so we could actually have quite a bit wrong or issues with this board. So I have to make a decision whether I try and fix this board. And we've got nothing at all, which is quite fun. Maybe easier to fix. I mean, it could be that I've got a bad Hall effect on the heads, and the circuit protector's gone on the for the capstan motor. So yeah, we've got quite a bit to do on this still. So what I'm thinking, it's getting quite close to the weekend again, is I'm going to leave it here, and we'll have a look at the capstan issue. We'll do the power supply. Probably we'll do the power supply first, actually. And then we'll do the front loading system and just get that all sorted. And we should have a working machine. I will probably be keeping this one. Just mainly because I want to use it to fix that other board as well. That'll be a future episode as well. Just trying to get to the bottom of that really complex issue, or to me ended up being complex. Maybe after a break my my brain will work better, but yeah, so let's do that. You know, I'd be interested in your views on what you think is wrong with this, and hopefully it'll probably be next weekend. I'll post an update on this. But my gut feeling is I've got a circuit protector that's gone here, there's a semiconductor fuse down here, and I think the Hall effect will have gone as well, because this machine has been in the damp quite a bit. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, so with that, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe is always very much appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.